Hi everyone, it's Olivia from Girlybunches, and in this week's video I'm going to be showing you how to do this an interesting stitch, and it's known as corner to corner or C2C crochet stitch. And basically what it is you start off in one corner and then you do each row diagonally and you work your way to the other corner, and you stop when you want it to be as wide as you want, or you can have it as narrow as you want going upwards. And it's a really great way of making rectangular or square shapes, but within this interesting sort of diagonal stitch. It's really simple to do, and I'm going to show you how I made this. So I'm just taking my double knit yarn that I normally use and a 4mm hook, but you use the hook that's right for the yarn that you're using. And all you're going to do is you're going to start off with 6 chains. Am I focused? Yeah, I think so. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And each if we look at the pattern, each group is made up of, each row is made up of groups, and it's actually made up of groups of 4. You can't see the 4 trebles. I'm British, so I use British terminology, so I call that a treble, but you may know it's a double crochet. But there's 4 trebles to each group, and like I say, this one's hidden because this lot of trebles is worked around it. So into the 4th stitch from the hook, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to do our first treble, and then we're going to do a treble into each of the remaining chains, which should be 2 chains left over. And that is our first corner, once I've done this one. Okay, so now we're going to start working on the next row. So we're going to chain 6 chains again, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to do exactly the same thing that we've just done here. So we're going to now do a treble into the 4th chain from the hook, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. One, and then 1 into each of the next 2 chains. Like so. And then we've ended up with a bit of a weird shape now. If I just hold it like that, it does look a little bit weird. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that your tail from when you started is on the left hand side. And then you're going to do a slip stitch. I'm going to do it around that 3 chain space, or into that 3 chain space I should say, that replaced our first treble. And then we're going to work 3 chains and then 3 more trebles into that same 3 chain space. So we've got our first row, and then our second row goes across that way. So the first row, the posts are going this way, and in the second row, the posts are going this way, horizontally and vertically. Now, to do the next row, we're going to do exactly the same thing. Going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, a treble into that 4th chain from the hook, and then 1 treble into the last 2 chains, like so. And then again we want to make sure that tail is on the left hand side, and then we're going to slip stitch into that 3 chain space there, and then we're going to chain 3, and we're going to do a treble into that chain space and 2 more, so there's 4 trebles altogether. And now we're going to slip stitch into that chain 3 space there and repeat 3 chains and 3 trebles into that same space. And now you see we have 1 row, 2 rows and 3 rows. So if I just lay that down or hold that out, you can see how you've made a nice corner, and you're just going to keep increasing until you've got as wide as you want, which could be cushion covers, blankets, shawls, you know, anything that you want, scarves, because if I look at my sample, I've made this quite narrow, so I did 3, 4, 5 rows and then started to decrease, which I will show you. But I'm just going to do 1 more row in the grey. Okay, so I've done 1 more row, and now I'm going to join on a new colour. So I didn't finish off my stitch there. I'm going to finish it off with the new colour. So that's a way of joining on a new colour. And I'll just pull that up nicely. Okay, so we're just going to repeat the same thing. I'm just going to do a row using the pink. So this time, because we're not going to decrease, because we're not going to increase any more, I want to start working from here now. And what I need to do is I need to turn the work around, and then I slip stitch across the top of the stitches I've just made. And this time, instead of chaining 6, what I need to do is just start making my group here around this chain space here. So I'm going to chain 3 to replace my first treble, and I'm going to do my 3 trebles into that 3 chain space, which is the first stitch from each group. Like that. And then I will slip stitch into that one there, which is the 3 chain space from the previous row, and then just carry on with my groups. And then again slip stitch into that 3 chain space and make my next group. Okay, again slip stitch into that 3 chain space, get some more yarn, and then again slip stitch into that 3 chain space there. And then we're just going to repeat that. So I'm going to turn it around and then slip stitch my way back to that corner, like so. And then I can do my 3 chains and my 3 trebles into that 3 chain space. and then carry on with my slip stitch into that corner, and I'm going to carry on until I get back to the corner. Okay, so I'm just about to do my last group here, which is again 3 chains and then the 3 trebles. Sounds like a pop group, doesn't it? And then finish off a slip stitch into that corner, and there you go. And that's how you do a corner to corner crochet. If I just take this sample that's finished off with nice edges, you can see the versatility now in this, because if you don't know how wide you want something to be, you know, you can just keep making it, and then when it's as wide as you want it to be, then you can just start to make, you know, the decreases, which gives you the squared off shape. So I've made this into like a rectangle, so it doesn't have to be a square. So I really like this. I think it's great, and yeah, it seems to grow quite quickly, and obviously you can make each row a different colour, and then you'll end up with this lovely diagonal crochet pattern, which is quite unusual, because most crochet patterns are either in squares or blocks or zigzags or in lines, not necessarily diagonal lines. Yeah, really like this pattern. It's really easy to do, and gives you a nice thickness, which is nice if you're making a blanket. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, I would love a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, why not click on that subscribe button? I think it's down there now, and there might be a little thing appearing up here, which might give you a link to some other playlists that I have, but there's always links to other videos in the description box down below, and there's also links to my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the other places that you can come and say hi to, and lots of people have been coming to say hi and leaving photographs on my Facebook page, which I absolutely love. So if you've made something, why not share it with everyone? And yeah, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!